Hello and welcome back to Football Index Moneyball. We got another pick of the day for you today. It's been a crazy couple of days with the deposit bonuses. If you didn't catch my video yesterday where I did a few live trades and just talked through some of the tactics I use when the deposit bonuses drop, just because obviously some of the prices rise pretty fast, then that one's definitely worth a look, so go check that out. Now I've had to change my tactics this week because there was a number of players that I was planning on doing videos for, including Yasin Adli there at the top of the risers list, who are now going to be too expensive. The entry price I was looking for is now gone, so I've had to look through my list of potential pick of the day players, and I think I found a good one for you. So today we're going to be looking at an 18-year-old left winger. He's had a pretty substantial career already, winning a golden boot in a major international tournament at just 16. We're going to find out how he signed his first professional contract at 15 before getting a move to a European powerhouse last January, making his debut and scoring his first goal at 17 years old. How his limited game time so far has left him as a relative unknown, which makes a reasonably attractive entry point for us for this kind of player. Then of course at the end we had the usual target profit analysis. As always, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, you can hit the bell icon. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, then you just need to search @IndexMoneyball. So the player we've gone for today is Alphonso Davies. He's an 18-year-old Canadian left winger. He can also play as a left wing back or on the right wing. And he currently plays for Bayern Munich. He's currently playing with the first team, having made the bench for all the first 5 matches, coming on for 3 appearances so far this season with a combined total of 54 minutes, and he actually managed to get a goal in one of those appearances in the 6-1 victory over Mainz a couple of weeks ago. He's also had a couple of games for the second team where he's played the full 92 victories, getting 1 assist. So I see it as a bit of a positive that they're giving him some game time in the first team and the second team combined to keep him match fit. So there's a couple of things I just wanted to look at on Alphonso Davies' graphs. So the first one is the fact that in January when he signed for Bayern, he actually hit a high of 1.57. He's currently at 1.34. So that's obviously great for us to know that he's already been at this price. So really he's not grown much in that time. He did dip a bit after he signed for Bayern because he didn't get a whole lot of game time last year, which is usual for a 17-year-old, to be honest. He did manage to score a goal. But the other thing that I'm interested in is the last 24 hours or even the last 7 days. He's actually pretty much the same price as he was 7 days ago. So the deposit bonus has not really affected him too much, which is great because that means that we can still get in while his price was already relatively cheap compared to some of the players we're going to look at in a minute. So I've jumped over to Davies transfer marked, and you can see here that he's got a couple of trophies already. This includes the top scorer award for the 2017 Gold Cup and the Bundesliga title and German Cup from last season. He made his debut for the Canadian national team in 2017 at just 16 years old, becoming the youngest player to ever feature for them. He was then picked for the Gold Cup. He scored 3 goals, winning the Golden Boot. He was also awarded the Young Player of the Tournament, and he made the team of the tournament. Now I know the Canadian national team's not exactly world class, but the fact that he made the team of the tournament at 16 in a competition which featured teams like Mexico, Costa Rica and the USA is still pretty impressive. So the next thing I wanted to look at is his career stats overall. And the thing for me that attracts me to this player over some of the others that are in the same kind of price range and age bracket is the fact that he's got so much senior football to his name. So I just mentioned that he played for Canada in the Gold Cup when he was 16, and he's got 65 MLS first team matches, scoring 8 goals and getting 12 assists. Now, the MLS is nowhere near the top league standards in Europe, but it's still a reasonable amount of men's football, which is definitely good for a young player. And then also he's got 9 games in the Bundesliga and a few other tournaments as well. And then, like I said, he played in the Gold Cup and he's been representing Canada. He's got 15 caps and 4 goals. For the price analysis today, I had a bit of a harder time picking players to compare to Davies. He's in a similar category to the analysis that I did for Kang-In Lee, who actually just got his first start of the season yesterday for Valencia and scored, which led to a rise of around 25%. Kang was actually almost exactly the same price as Alphonso is now. So if anything, that could be a good benchmark for what we could expect to see if he was to get a couple of starts and a goal or 2 in the next month. For my other options to purchase today, I went for Willem Goebels at Monaco and Brian Gill at Sevilla. As you can see, both of these players are cheaper than Alphonso, but Goebels is still a fair way from the first team from what I can see at Monaco. Then the fact that Davies has got a better goal scoring record than Gill, a lot more senior football experience, and is playing at a better club who score a crazy amount of goals usually, means that for this one I'd just rather pay the higher price on this player than go for one of the other 2. For my low target today, I went for Martinelli at Arsenal. Now, he has a bit of an advantage over Davies in that he plays in England, but I'd say that Martinelli is actually another player who will keep rising if he gets a lot of game time, so I think it's a good idea of where Davies could be in the next month or so for this low target. For the mid target, I actually kept the same player that I used in the Kang video here in Sobolai. His price has gone up a bit more since then, which for me is a good thing as it shows there's still a good level of interest in the young players on the index, and the comparable market value for Alphonso is rising as these other players rise really. Then for the high target, I went for Rodrigo at Madrid. Now, Rodrigo has just signed for Madrid this summer, and he's played one game so far and scored a goal, which was actually yesterday. But really, there's not a whole lot of difference between the situation of these two players, other than the fact that Rodrigo signed this year and Davies signed last January. I actually think that Davies hitting £1.50 when he signed last January is probably equivalent to Rodrigo being at the price he is now if you factor in the market growth. So I'd say that a few good performances and some goals could definitely get Davies up to this price, especially if they were to come in the Champions League. I left out any expected dividends for today's analysis due to the fact that Davies isn't starting regularly at the minute, but I think he could definitely chip in with a goal and assist from the bench in the next month, and if he got a couple of starts then that would help. Another thing to consider is that if Davies was to get a run in the first team at the back end of the season, he is the kind of player who could win the PB on a good day. So I'm not factoring any of this in, but it's good to have as a possible bonus. And that leaves us with a price target analysis for this one of 26% on the low, 34% for the mid, and 88% for the high. Now this is a little bit lower than my usual target range, but I think with this pick, Davies is one of the players who I think has a real chance of hitting the top ranks of footballers in the next few years, which could lead to him being even better than Rodrigo's price really, and getting a lot closer to the top of the index. With him being 18, I think there's a really good chance that he'll benefit from any growth of the index that happens over the next year as well, as long as he just becomes a little bit more well known, which is going to happen. There's always players that are kind of flying under the radar, similar to Yassin Adli. He only really started flying up in the last few days, and then he had a good performance today, and his price has doubled in the space of a week really. That's all we've got for you on today's pick. Again, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment and subscribe. Also, if you know someone else who might like the video, then sharing with them would really help me out. There are links in the description for signing up to Football Index and Football Index Edge if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel for more strategy videos and the other picks of the day. Most picks are long-term holds with depressed prices for some reason or other, so often the picks can still offer the same value, if not better, a few weeks after. And the research methods and reasoning can help if you're new to the index and want to learn to analyse your own players. Thanks for watching, good luck on the index.